Okay, hello everybody. My name is Sabrina Joseph. I am the Employee Support Supervisor at Giant, and today my colleague Luke will be going through the IR35 fee payer. Um, do leave any questions to the end, and we'll be able to answer any questions you might have. Luke, I will hand over to you if that's okay. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks, Sabrina. And obviously, a good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for attending today's webinar around the IR35 payer, IR35 fee payer with Giant Precision. So, just for a bit of a overview for today's for today's webinar, we'll go through the contractual relationship, getting paid, accessing your remittance, tax codes, invoice and VAT and expenses, pension and P60s, contacting us, and last of all, just a summary. So to kind of kick things off, so we're going to be looking at the contractual relationship first. So how does the actual contractual relationship work? So if your hirer decides that you're actually caught by IR35, this may still allow you to trade through your limited company. Again, it's just in relation to providing appropriate employer and employees taxes are deducted at source. So the company that pays your limited company is also known as a fee payer. So in this case, Giant would act as the fee payer within the contractual relationship chain. So Giant will enter a new contract with your limited company at a lower rate, and this basically enables us to deduct the necessary deductions as the fee payer. So this would include things like margin, employers' national insurance, and also the apprenticeship levy. So from there, we'll then deduct PAYE tax from the contractor rate before we pay you the net amount into your limited company. So with relation to all of these deductions, these are obviously governed by the off payroll working legislation. And again, this allows you to keep your limited company for both inside and outside of IR35 assignments as well. To getting paid. So in relation to your payment, it's also important that you submit your timesheets directly to your agency by the set deadlines that are in place. So your agency will send Giant the timesheet information electronically, known as a data exchange or a DX. So the only thing that you would have to do is just submit your timesheet by the set deadlines. There's nothing else you would need to do from that perspective. So Giant, again, will pay your limited company the next working day via something called a faster payment. That means you don't have to wait the usual 2 to 3 days for funds to clear, like a BACS payment. We'll pay your company in line with the frequency that your agency also pays us. On the Giant portal, you can set up some useful alerts if you wish to. So you can set them up as SMS payroll alerts. Also, some of the alerts that you can set up can also be done via email as well. But again, if you don't have those set up, I would highly recommend setting those up. It just allows you to get useful information in relation to your payments. And then with any payments that do go and get processed through Giant, we would also provide you a remittance each time you're paid. And again, that would have all the useful information regarding the payment breakdown. So in relation to remittances, there is a way you can also access these on the Giant portal. So there's 3 steps that you would need to take. So first of all, will be selecting, or when you log into your portal, I should say, if you go to something called your data and select that, it will then take you to another subsection with a few more different options. One of those should be your remittance. So in relation to step 2, you would click into that. Then last of all, if there is any data that is available in that particular tab area, then the below picture is kind of what you would see in terms of how it's laid out. If you want to get the full breakdown of that remittance, all you would need to do is click the date associated with that remittance. This is a hyperlink that will take you to the full breakdown data for you to then review. So once you have, say, clicked into your remittance to look at some further information, on the right-hand side is basically what you're going to be seeing. So that is the full breakdown. So in relation to this, being a remittance, obviously it will be on your portal 24/7 for yourself to access if you wish to. Alongside the remittance, it also highlights everything else. So things like your company details, our details, the tax code that you're on as well, alongside the payment information. So things like your gross pay, applicable deductions, including VAT. Again, that's if applicable, if you ask us to also add on VAT. And then last of all, the net amount that will also be paid into your limited company as well. So tax code. So when you're first onboarding with Giant, initially your tax code is going to be set up using a basic rate or a BR tax code of 20%. So with an approximately 8 weeks, HMRC may send us an updated tax code to use, which is known as a P6 notification. If you believe that your tax code, again, still may be incorrect, even say if we have or haven't received a P6 notification and you wish to double check this, then what we would advise from Giant's perspective is for yourself to contact HMRC. The reason that Giant cannot contact HMRC directly is due to GDPR reasons. So if you do think your tax code still may be incorrect at this current time, would advise you to contact HMRC. If they do deem to think that your tax code is incorrect, they'll send across the necessary P6 notification for us to update your record. And then in relation to salary being paid into any other individual accounts other than yourself, we cannot do that. We can only pay in respective of your business account as well, just to bear in mind. So invoices, VAT and expenses. So kind of like I mentioned earlier, the only thing in relation to yourself in terms of how you would get paid is by filling out your timesheet. So from our perspective, we want to keep admin to a minimal. So as long as you fill out your timesheets within the set deadlines that your agency have provided, then again, as mentioned earlier, they'll send across all the recommended data exchange information or DX information that has your timesheet information on there, for us to then process your payments from there. So you don't need to send us any invoicing or anything like that. The only thing you would need to do is submit your timesheets. If you do have VAT and you do wish for Giant to then also apply this to your payments, just bear in mind that VAT is applied against the new contract rate with Giant. Again, in relation to your VAT, these will also be displayed on your remittance as well within its own little section on there. It's very important that if you do have VAT and you wish for this to be applied, is to do this literally as soon as possible. So would highly recommend to do it at the actual onboarding stage if you can. The reason we say is that we cannot backdate VAT. So it's just really important you send us that VAT certificate if you wish for VAT to be applied as soon as possible during your engagement here at Giant. And then last of all, in relation to expenses, so if the agency or client agree to pay you billable expenses, these will be paid to Giant and then we'll pay them directly to your limited company. This will be done in the same payroll as the time that was worked as well. Alternatively, if you have like business expenses purchased for your limited company, for example, and you want to, like, for example, for these to be processed to reduce your tax liabilities, then from that perspective, we would say you need to liaise with your accountant to further look at that, where they'll be able to further assist on that particular manner. So pension and P60. So can Giant make pension contributions for you? So in this particular case, we can't. So HMRC actually state that pension contributions are not an item to be processed by the fee payer. Obviously, the fee payer perspective, this will be Giant. So in that case, as a director of your PSC or your limited company, the pension responsibilities actually remain with you and your limited company. And then with regards to your P60, we will provide you a P60 at the end of the tax year. And then the P60 will also include the deemed employment payment as well as tax and national insurance contributions that are also paid on it as well. So contacting us at Giant. So there's a few different ways you can get in contact with us, all depending on kind of what you prefer as your preferred method. So two ways that we would highly recommend to get in contact with us is, first of all, you can contact us through the feedback section on your Giant portal. So when you log in and you go to your portal, if you do wish to send us any information or send us a quick message just to look at over any kind of like questions that you may have, all you'll need to do is just go to the feedback section and then go to where it says add feedback. On the right-hand side, this is kind of the screen that you'll be greeted with. So it will show you kind of like the subject of the message, the actual main body of the message. You can attach files, documents, etc., and then send that across to us. And obviously one of our team will be able to look over your queries and then be able to reply to yourself as well. Alternatively, if you're looking for like just a quicker option and you want to actually speak to someone live at that particular moment, then we would highly recommend using our live chat service. So with our live chat service, you're connected to one of our advisors in around 15 seconds. And again, it's just a great way to get in contact with someone if you've got something urgent that you just want to, or for us to look at, basically. So both of those options I would highly recommend if you do wish to contact us during your engagement at Giant. So just a summary for today's webinar. So I've just gone through that. The actual setup for this particular engagement is that it's run through a contract for services with Giant. Payments are 100% compliant with the IR35 off payroll legislation. There's no need to raise invoices yourself. Again, because Giant are self-billing, we do everything for you. The self-bill would act as the remittance. So the only thing that you would need to do is send across or make sure your timesheets are basically approved within the set deadlines, based upon your agency deadlines as well. As mentioned earlier, we do pay the next day via faster payments. So you don't have to wait the normal 2 to 3 days like a BACS payment. Each time you're paid, there is going to be a remittance available on your Giant portal, and there is a breakdown available as well. And again, you can access these 24/7. All payments are going to be made into your business account. Again, you can set up to receive SMS alerts or sometimes even emails, depending on the set alert. Again, if applicable, VAT is applied on the new contract rate with Giant. You can contact us using, again, 2 different functions, so the feedback function, or you can use the live chat services as well that we have. And then last of all, just a compliance solution that allows you to keep your limited company for both inside and outside IR35 assignments. So I just want to say thank you so much for attending today's webinar. Like Sabrina said, if you do have any questions, this is kind of the best time to now kind of put those in the chat. So within the Zoom chat itself, there should be a Q&A section. So if you do have any questions, feel free to pop a couple of questions in there. We'll wait a couple of minutes just in case you may be typing away. And then if there isn't any questions for today, then we'll be looking to wrap up today's webinar. But again, thank you so much for attending. And as I said, we'll wait a couple of minutes just in case. So it doesn't seem like we have any questions for today, which is absolutely fine. If you do have any questions, then please, as I said throughout the webinar, if you do want to get in contact with us, then please obviously feel free to use the services available to get in contact with us for any questions that you may have. What we would highly appreciate is that obviously each time we do webinars, we're always looking for like constructive feedback from yourself. So if you do have like a spare kind of like couple of minutes, at the end of the webinar, once it finishes, there will be like a pop-up for like a basically like a questionnaire sort of thing in terms of like how we've done and how we can improve it for future use. If you do have a few minutes, it would be highly appreciated if you could fill out the information, and obviously we can review it for future use as well. But again, I'd just like to say thank you so much for attending today's webinar, and I hope you have a great rest of your day. Take care. Bye-bye.